A week or two ago, Rabbi Tovia Singer uploaded a video where he was talking about Noahides learning from other Noahides. That's not the way it's supposed to be done. And there was apparently some confusion that was raised around the video. There are some Noahide groups on Facebook that coordinate with the rabbis to teach Noahide law. The video apparently made some people think that was unacceptable, that wasn't what he was talking about, so he pulled the video down. I just want to self-identify here that he is talking about me, okay? Now, I don't know that he's talking about me specifically. It's not the point. The point is, I am not here to teach Noahide law. I am a Noahide, and I like talking about the Bible, about the Torah, but it's just not what I do. I don't teach Noahide law. So if you're a Noahide looking for that, go elsewhere. Sometimes I ask challenging questions about the Torah, about the Bible. How should we interpret some of these things? And that is precisely what I'm doing here today. I'm Steve Perry. This is Biblical Anarchy. And today we're taking a look at the prohibitions of homosexual relationships in the Divine Code. Now, Noahides have the 7 Noahide laws, right? Look at this. That's how that's how complicated we can make things if we try hard enough. That's your book. That's basically your Talmud, for Noahides, your halakha for Noahides. I'm going to start out with the easy one. So we're going to paragraph 4 here. This is, it is forbidden for females to practice lesbianism. Excuse me. This is considered an abomination, as it says, do not perform the practice of the land of Egypt in which you dwelled, and do not perform the practice of the land of Canaan. And they go on to say, the sages say, this is what the people would do. Well, the problem with this, they say, thus we see that lesbianism is clearly a repulsive and abhorrent practice, but it doesn't seem that clear from the text. Now, when we come here to the footnotes, it says there is a debate in Tractate Sanhedrin 56b as to whether we can infer that these are additional prohibitions for Gentiles from the fact that the Canaanites were punished for them, and and certainly they must have been warned about them. The Torah law follows the opinions that this alone is not a justification to say that Gentiles are forbidden in the acts mentioned there. If this alone is not justification, then you cannot use this alone, which they just did. So this is just a non sequitur. This argument does not work. Now back to a male is forbidden. This is paragraph 1. A male is forbidden to engage in anal intercourse with another male. And let's be clear here. This says anal intercourse, right? So it appears that just a romantic relationship between two men would not be a problem. It would be the intercourse, although they do get into later about like if you were to be alone together and things like that. But that aside, a male is forbidden to engage in anal intercourse with another male, whether an adult or a minor of any age. Now, you might think, of course, Steve, they're going to use Leviticus 18 because it says a man shall not lie with another man. But they don't. What do they use? Look at the blue. And this is learned from the verse Genesis 2:24, and cling to his wife, and they shall become one flesh, which excludes intercourse with any other male. Why doesn't it exclude intercourse with a female? Well, if we go down here to, again, highlighted in blue in the footnotes, this is unlike a case in which a man and 2 sisters would agree to live together in the manner of a polygamous marriage when it is not forbidden by the Noahide Code. So the Noahide Code allows some polygamous marriages in certain circumstances. So to say that Genesis 2:24 is ruling out other partners is not actually correct. Although they do argue it's only ruling out males, but they use Leviticus 18 to say that lesbianism is a sin or a crime. Why wouldn't they just use Leviticus 18 here? A man shall not lie with another man. Again, because they already conceded that you can't use Leviticus 18. This is just terribly problematic. These arguments are non sequiturs. It does not follow from one that the other is true. Now, coming over here to, excuse me, the Art Scroll Tanakh, and we're going to look at the exact prohibitions here in Leviticus 18. And the reason why I want to do that is because I'm not really sure that this is actually, it seems clear that this is ruling out homosexual relationships. If we go to verse 22, you shall not lie with a man as one lies with a woman. It is an abomination. Seems pretty clear, right? The problem is, if we start in verse 6, any man shall not approach his close relative to uncover nakedness. I am Hashem. Now, something funky's going on here with the text, but we're going to ignore that. The nakedness of your father and the nakedness of your mother you shall not uncover. She is your mother, you shall not uncover her nakedness. Obviously, uncovering nakedness is a code for having sex. So you shall not have sex with your mother. Okay, got it. You shall not have sex with your sister. You shall not have sex with your son's daughter or daughter's daughter. That'd be your granddaughter. You shall not have sex with your wife's daughter. You shall not have sex with your father's sister, with your mother's, that'd be your aunt, with your father's brother, which should be your uncle. But again, something weird's happening with the text, so it turns out to be your aunt. The nakedness of your daughter-in-law. Don't have sex with your daughter-in-law. Don't have sex with your brother's wife, which again seems like it would be your aunt. The nakedness of a woman and her daughter you shall not uncover. So if you have a sex with a woman, do not have sex with her daughter or granddaughter. Now, up until then, it is your shame. But here we get a little bit different language. It is a depraved plot. So it's shameful. It's depraved. You shall not lie with a man as one lies with a woman. It's an abomination. So it appears that the text is telling me that it's shameful to have sex with my own granddaughter, but an abomination to have sex with a man that I'm not related to. That seems odd. So let's jump over to Deuteronomy 23. This is going to be 18 and 19 for those of you following along in your Tanakh. But it's going to be verses 17 and 18 from a Christian Bible. So Deuteronomy chapter 23, verses 18 and 19. Now, I also want to point out that this is, I'm going to read the Christian translation because this translation here is a little odd. So verses 18 and 19. There shall not be a promiscuous woman among the daughters of Israel, and there shall not be a promiscuous man among the sons of Israel. You shall not bring a harlot's hire, so a prostitute's wage. Where's this prostitute coming from? You shall not bring a prostitute's hire, a harlot's hire, or the exchange for a dog to the house of Hashem. Wait a second. So the money that a female prostitute makes or the money that a male prostitute makes shall not be brought to the house of Hashem your God for any vow, for both of them are an abomination of Hashem your God. Weird. So a prostitute's wage is an abomination, but here it seems to be saying like a promiscuous, right? Well, let's jump over here for a second and read this from the English Standard Version. And again, it's going to be Deuteronomy 23, 17 and 18 in a Christian Bible. It says, none of the daughters of Israel shall be a cult prostitute, and none of the sons of Israel shall be a cult prostitute. So this is an abomination. What were we just reading? A man lying with another man is an abomination. So this seems to be referencing cult prostitution. Why do I say that? Let's go to Exodus 8:22. Now, again, this is going to be different in your Christian Bible. But in Tanakh, we're going to Exodus chapter 8, verse 22. If you're following along in a Christian Bible, it's going to be verse 26. We read here, Moses said, it is not proper to do so, for we will offer the deity of Egypt to Hashem our God. I've highlighted this. Let's click on the Hebrew. And we get a note here from Rashi, for we will offer the deity of Egypt. And this verse 8, or chapter 8, verse 22. Here's a note from Rashi. The deity, literally abomination of Egypt. Moses surely used a more respectful term, but the Torah typically refers to all idols as abominations. Abomination is such a code word for idolatry that here they replace the gods of Egypt, the abomination of Egypt, with the gods of Egypt, with the idols of Egypt. They are that interchangeable. For this reason, in my opinion, in Leviticus 18, when it says a man shall not lie with another man, it is an abomination. It's saying it's an idolatrous practice. Cult prostitution, temple prostitution, what the Canaanites did, this is idolatry. You shall not worship Hashem, your God, in the way that they worship their gods. This seems to me, folks, to be what it's saying. You can disagree with me, and that's fine. But from a Noahide perspective, how are we going to tell either potential Noahides or Noahides who are gays and lesbians that they cannot continue in this activity or this lifestyle when the argument laid out in the divine code, again, this is halakha for Noahides, it is such an extraordinarily weak argument that for lesbians, it actually rules itself out. And for homosexuals, they go to Genesis because they know they can't use that passage that they literally just used for lesbians. I think this is an extraordinarily weak argument. Now, hopefully next Sunday, I'm going to be able to discuss this with Shara from TNC, the Noahide community. I'll put a link to her website, by the way, and Facebook group down below. But hopefully we're going to be able to discuss this next week because this is a big problem to me. I don't see the justification for it. And if we are supposed to set up a just society as Noahides, we got to treat everybody equally. That would include, of course, gays and lesbians. If you disagree with me, you can leave a comment down below. But if you enjoy the video, share it on social media, subscribe to the channel. But whatever you do, don't just sit there. Do something.